Guys, this is Mr. Joshy J, and this is your review of the Formula 1 2020 Eifel Grand Prix at Nurburgring. And Lewis Hamilton has now equalled Michael Schumacher's winning record of 91 victories. Unbelievable. It's an emotional day for us Lewis Hamilton fans, and of course Lewis Hamilton himself. Mick Schumacher presented Lewis Hamilton with Michael Schumacher's Mercedes helmet from 2012, the last time Michael Schumacher raced in F1. So that was a lovely, touching tribute from Mick Schumacher to give Hamilton the helmet. And the race today, I thought was a very good Grand Prix. Definitely a 7 out of 10, because quite a lot happened, a lot of reliability issues, which is very unusual, because reliability in F1 recently has been absolutely fantastic. But anyway, at the start of the race, Valtteri Bottas got off the line. Hamilton got a better start, but then Bottas had a bit of a better second start and was able to cover off Hamilton at turn 1. But great bit of driving there from Bottas. We've asked for Bottas to be aggressive, and there you go. He was aggressive and he held on to the lead. Later on, he locked up and Hamilton was able to take the lead. But then, unfortunately, at lap 18, Valtteri Bottas was losing power and retired due to an MGU-H failure, I believe. But the engine and the turbo sounded okay, but he couldn't get any errors. So massive disappointment for Bottas. That is probably his championship hopes over. It's so unlucky for Valtteri Bottas. Mercedes' first DNF of the season. Mercedes are usually ultra reliable, so yep, massive blow for Valtteri Bottas and Mercedes there. But anyway, for their other driver, Lewis Hamilton, it's a historic day. Yep, so Bottas retired, George Russell retired from the Grand Prix, contacts by Kimi Raikkonen, 10-second time penalty for Kimi Raikkonen, and rightly deserved, because that was clumsy from Kimi Raikkonen. Not intentional, of course, but still clumsy nevertheless. So, of course, Kimi Raikkonen has now the records for the most Grand Prix in F1. So, congratulations to him. Despite an awful qualifying yesterday, he still managed to finish P12. And his teammate, Antonio Giovinazzi, finished P10 and scores a point. So, that is magnificent. Nico Hulkenberg yesterday was all prepared to do a TV show for Germany, and then had a phone call from Racing Points because Lance Stroll was unwell and arrived at the circuit, and he was so close to getting into Q2. What an effort. By hardly having any running at all of a sudden jumping in the car and nearly making Q2. Nico Hulkenberg has to be on the grid next year. It's no question about it. It's an absolute shambles to the name F1 that he hasn't got a drive at the moment. Nico Hulkenberg hardly been in the car this weekend and scores some points. Unbelievable. He needs to be on the grid full time. It's as simple as that. But Alexander Albon made contact with Kvyat. Kvyat damaged his front wing, and then Albon almost crashed into Gasly. And then later on, Albon retired due to bits in his radiator or something. But yet another poor weekend for Alex Albon. I think you all know what score he's going to get when I get onto the driver ratings. But yep, retirements on this Grand Prix were Bottas, George Russell, Esteban Ocon, Alex Albon, and Lando Norris disappointing for Lando Norris, because I was really hoping he could have been on for a podium, but he was having issues with his engine, and then he had to pull over, and they brought out a full safety car. I mean, to me, there was no need for a full safety car. The VSC would have been safe enough. But anyway, full safety car come out, and Lewis Hamilton lost his 11-second lead, and then Max Verstappen was second. Hamilton nailing the restart, left Verstappen for standing. Hamilton thought he had all 26 points, and then Max Verstappen stolen the fastest lap from him. Tell you what, that Red Bull is very fast. Definitely the second best car on the grid to Mercedes. Red Bull, even though they're losing Honda, that car still looks absolutely impressive, and it'd be interesting to see after 2021 if Red Bull take over the Honda development really well, because I still think they'll go back to Renault though, but Mercedes has said to Red Bull and AlphaTauri, nope, you're not having any hard engines, which I absolutely do not blame them, because Red Bull would be a massive threat to the Mercedes work scene if Red Bull had Mercedes power units, so completely understands Red Bull's decision not to give Mercedes any power units. But as I said, a very enjoyable Grand Prix, and a lot of reliability issues, which was a surprise, but it's Lewis Hamilton's historic day, and let's celebrate it. Fantastic for Lewis Hamilton. Valtteri Bottas, as I said, that is probably the end of his championship hopes, because Lewis Hamilton is now 70 points ahead or something like that in the Drivers' Championship now, which that's absolutely amazing. He is now a step closer to number 7, and I definitely will be getting a number 7 Mercedes t-shirt when they win the Constructors again. I've got number 6, but I'll definitely be adding the magic number 7 to my F1 t-shirts collection. Definitely. But anyway, let's get on to the driver ratings and team ratings. Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton, 10 out of 10. Got out-qualified by Bottas, but stayed calm in the race. Almost got into the lead after turn 1, but then Bottas made a mistake and Hamilton was able to take the lead. But obviously, Valtteri Bottas had reliability issues, so Hamilton probably would have passed him anyway in the end. Valtteri Bottas, 9 out of 10. Yes, I know he retired, but pole and to be aggressive at the start of the race, that is what we want to see more of Valtteri Bottas doing. So, 9 out of 10 for Valtteri Bottas. Red Bull, Max Verstappen, 9 out of 10. Again, just looked like Verstappen was in his own race, but yet again, another P2 for Max Verstappen. Always doing his job for Red Bull, he is. Alex Albon, 0 out of 10. Again, another shocking weekend for Alexander Albon. I mean, to crash into one AlphaTauri is bad enough, but to almost crash into a second one, absolutely shocking from Alex Albon. I tell you, performances don't improve soon. He will be back in an AlphaTauri. Alexander Albon, another weekend to forget for him. Really disappointing. Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, 10 out of 10. My star in qualifying, P4, and obviously the restart. Ferrari didn't quite have the pace as the others, but still, Leclerc was able to finish P8, so a really good weekend again for Charles Leclerc. Definitely getting the best out of his Ferrari. Sebastian Vettel, 5 out of 10. He got P11 in the race. Unlucky to finish just outside of the points. Ferrari close to a double points finish. But then obviously Vettel made a half spin in the race, so now was to avoid another car. And he was having a great battle with Magnussen, almost forced Magnussen off the track, and Magnussen thought that was rude and attacked Vettel. Now, that was a great little battle, that was. But overall, a decent weekend for Vettel this weekend, I think. Renault, Daniel Ricciardo, 9 out of 10. On the podium, absolutely fantastic. Finally, good to see Renault back on the podium before they become Alpine in 2021. Esteban Ocon, 7 out of 10. Was doing okay until he had that issue and retired from the race. McLaren, Carlos Sainz, 6 out of 10. Decent weekend for Carlos Sainz in the McLaren. Lando Norris, 8 out of 10. Was doing really well, running in P3, but then had problems with the engine. Was managing it very well, but then eventually pulled up to the side of the track. So, disappointing weekend for Lando Norris, because if his car stayed reliable, he could have got a podium. So, devastating for Lando Norris. AlphaTauri, Danny Kiat, 7 out of 10. Decent weekend for him. Pierre Gasly, 7 out of 10. Another good weekend for Pierre Gasly. Racing points. Sergio Perez, 9 out of 10. Very good performance in the Racing Point by Sergio Perez this weekend. Nico Hulkenberg, 10 out of 10. To be called back into action in such short notice, few tenths away from making Q2 and finishes in the points. Unbelievable performance by the incredible Hulk, Nico Hulkenberg. Absolutely fantastic. So fair play to him. Haas, Roman Grosjean, 6 out of 10. Yeah, really good weekend for him. Both Haas's got into the Q2 for the first time this season, so overall decent weekends for Haas. Kevin Magnussen, 6 out of 10. Yeah, as I said, great battle with Vettel. Really good battle that. Alfa Romeo, Kimi Raikkonen, did well to finish P12 after that shambles of a qualifying, but I'm going to mark him down. 4 out of 10. That was a clumsy incident with George Russell. That really was. So you have to mark Kimi Raikkonen down and give him a 4 out of 10. And finally, Williams, George Russell, 7 out of 10. He was actually doing quite well until Kimi Raikkonen crashed into him. So, disappointment for George Russell, but still a solid weekend for the British driver. Nicolas Latifi, 6 out of 10. Yeah, decent weekend for him. But, you know, Williams, overall, not too bad, because they weren't last on the grid anyway. So, I say that's a decent weekend for the Williams team. Obviously, they would have loved to have been in the points, but, you know, yeah, for Antonio Giovinazzi to score points for Alfa Romeo, absolutely fantastic for Giovinazzi to score a point. Did I give him a rating? I think I did. Yeah, so I'll give him a 7 out of 10, I think I said. But anyway, team ratings. Mercedes dominating the weekend again, despite just one car finishing the race. So 10 out of 10. Red Bull with Max Verstappen again. Good weekend. So with Albon's performance, have to mark them down a bit. 7 out of 10. Ferrari, 7 out of 10. I thought it was quite a decent weekend for them. And with the upgrades, the cars definitely got a little bit more pace in it. Still, the engine is slow, but is slowly, I think, starting to creep up back to the levels where Ferrari should be. Let's hope they're back there very soon. Renault, yep, I know Aston Ocon retired, but a really good weekend for them. So 9 out of 10, and Daniel Ricciardo getting on the podium. McLaren, 6 out of 10. Norris was doing really well, but obviously retired. And Sainz, a decent weekend for him. Racing points, 9 out of 10. Great points to Racing Point, and also for Nico Hulkenberg's performance. AlphaTauri, 7 out of 10. Decent weekend again for them. Again, Danny Kvyat, very unlikely to have that damaged front wing. Alfa Romeo, 7 out of 10. Great weekends for them. Haas, 6 out of 10. Yep, but decent for them as well. And Williams, 6 out of 10. So right, that's all the drivers covered and all the teams for the 2020 Eifel Grand Prix. We move on to Portugal in 2 weeks' time, which I'm buzzing for that one. In the comments, let me know down below who your driver of the day is, and what's your thoughts on Lewis Hamilton equaling Michael Schumacher's record. It's a fantastic day for Lewis Hamilton. It's a historic moment. Bye-bye.